Okay, pick up where I left off. Let's look at a little bit of on the fly here. I see interesting things going on in the news. This guy dies, representative or Republican, I'm not sure. David Scott. Look at the Gates Foundation is trending. That's interesting because I just did the Apple CEO stepping down. And I brought up in that decode that he looked like Bill Gates. That's kind of amazing. Look at this right here. I just made this video. It was a couple of videos ago. Apple CEO stepping down. He looks, and I brought up that he looked like Bill Gates. And look, now Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation is trending. Man, and there was a couple deaths, I guess. Was that Tim Scott or whatever? But look, this guy dies right here. Michael Tilson Thomas. Who's that? Let's take a look. Conductor and composer. He's got the glasses too. Look at that. Let me see if I remember the other guy's name. Was it Tim Scott? It disappeared. Oh yeah, here he is right here. Let's see. Tim Scott. How many Tim Scotts are going to pop up? This guy? Well, this guy's still alive. So I might have... I knew I should have wrote the name down. This guy's still alive. Let's put dies. I want to take a look. Well, it disappeared. David Scott. Let's try that again. This guy right here dies. Okay. This guy looks familiar, doesn't he? So there's been a lot of deaths lately. Look, here's another Georgia connection. With that Martin Luther King Jr. death anniversary not long ago. Angel Reese traded to the Atlanta Dream. That baseball player died. Was it, if I remember correctly, Garrett Anderson, if I remember correctly? He was once a member of the Atlanta Braves. This guy, Georgia's 13th congressional district from 2003 until his death. Right here. So he dies April 22nd. So he died yesterday. How many days? Let's see how many days before his birthday. David Scott, June 27th, birthday. June 27th, 2026. And he dies April 22nd. He's got his birthday is, he dies 66 days before his birthday. Right there. And I also just dropped this decode. Alan Osmond dies, and this U.S. representative now dies, and his birthday is 5 days after Alan Osmond. See Alan Osmond right here, June 22nd. Now this guy dies June 27th birthday, 5 days later. You see that? Trending at the same time. So this guy dies 66 days before his birthday, and his birthday is in the 6th month, right? 66 is like 6. It's also the same as 9 weeks and 3 days, and flip that 9 over and it's a 6. So a lot of 6s right there. Let me pull up that article real quick. David Scott, AP. Right here. Right here. This is what we want. Georgia Democrat dies at 80. Seeking his 13th term in Congress. dies at age 30. So seeking his 13th term and Georgia's 13th congressional district. Does that make sense? Look at that. 13th congressional district, seeking his 13th term. That's not the same thing, is it? I don't think so. I don't think that's the same thing. So you get a couple of 13s right there. Let me know if it is. So you get a couple of 13s. We get some 6s. Like I mentioned, he dies at 80. And so is that a proper age to die? Or let's see. How did he... Are they going to tell us how he died? Do we need to watch a video? Let's see. David Scott dies. Let's see if we can get a video to play here. Oh, one preferably where they speak. That's maybe a minute or so. Let's play this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my
Twice Yearly
God.
Prep is here.
Oh, I think I'll go buy me some.
Here for HIV prevention.
I want to start by offering our condolences to the family and friends of U.S. Representative David Scott, who passed away just a little while ago. Congressman Scott has served our state for many years.
You were just hearing from Governor Brian Kemp speaking just hours ago on the passing of U.S. Representative David Scott. The Democrat was just 80 years old, and we brought this to you live on 11 Alive Plus. I was with you there when this broke just after 12:30.
Yeah, Congressman Scott was the first black chairman of the House Agriculture Committee and was seeking his 13th term in Congress despite challenges from within his party. He was once a leading voice for Democrats on issues related to farm aid policy and food aid for consumers, and a prominent black member of the party's moderate Blue Dog Caucus. He faced criticism and concerns, though, in recent years because of his declining health, enduring a primary challenge in 2024 and facing even more when he died. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens releasing a statement after Congressman Scott's death today.
That's right. The mayor saying in part his legacy is one of service, perseverance, and deep commitment to this state. My thoughts
And they're still not saying how he died.
are with his wife, Alfreda Aaron, his children, extended family, his colleagues, and all who were impacted by his work. For more
So they didn't say how he died. It's fun. It's weird how when someone dies, they're like, "Oh, he was black. He was black. This black guy dies." Isn't that? I'll bring it up with the Martin Luther King Jr. stuff, with the civil rights stuff, and this is Georgia, and he dies 18 days after the Martin Luther King Jr. death anniversary. Martin Luther King Jr. raised in Georgia. I'll bring that up, but it's just weird when they say it, because they're not in the decoding business. They're just like, "Oh, we got to let you know he was black," right? I don't know. But let's see. I didn't hear, unless I missed it, I didn't hear how he died there. So I guess I'm going to do a little bit of reading here. Here's an image right here, and then we'll take a look at some of these other numbers. Mr. Scott, as you see right there. Scott, who was seeking his 13th term in Congress despite challenges from within his party, once a leading voice for Democrats on issues related to farm aid. Okay, but so I guess we're just chopping it up to old age. He was a trailblazer. We get that trailblazer again. Remember, Natalie Portman is trending, and the Trailblazers are in the playoffs. That's interesting. Look at that. Oh, that's not a word that gets used a lot. So, you see the series is tied with the Trailblazers right here in the Spurs. And remember, Natalie Portman is trending because she's pregnant. So this could be the language once again just taking over with these stories. You see, Natalie Portman is pregnant. And again, now in this story, they mention Trailblazer, like Portland Trailblazers. Portland is like Portman. So we got that going on, I see. This guy served the district that he represented admirably, rose up from humble beginnings to become the first African American ever to chair the House Ag Committee. Jeffrey said he cared about the people that he represented. He was fiercely committed to getting things done. He will be deeply missed. Man, they don't even say anything related to how he died, even though he was 80. They don't say anything about his death, on how he died or natural causes. They don't say any of that stuff. So here's a few things that I have entered over here. So he dies at age 80. Now let me see what day of the year. So he dies on the 112th day of the year, leaving 253. 112. Wow. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Let me go to the right page there. There, you see it right there. 112, 253. I don't see any of those. Remember, this is OTF on the fly. So his birthday, the 178th day, leaving 187. I don't see any of that stuff right there. It would be nice to know if they gave us some more information, maybe on some illnesses he might have had. 66 days before his birthday, 67-day span, as I see right there. So this guy was a member of Congress. Look at Congress has the 44 right there. Like Georgia has the 44. And again, this guy is connected to MLK Jr. And you could see MLK Jr.'s death date with the 4-4 right there. You know what? There's also a David Scott who's an astronaut. Look at this. Okay, this is absolutely with the language here. Look at this. Check this out. David Scott, American aircraft pilot. Look at this guy's birthday is June 6th. 6-6. Now this David Scott dies 66 days before his birthday. Look at how amazing that is. And again, that's the same as 9 weeks, 3 days. And the astronaut is 93 years old. Wow. The same name, David Scott, the astronaut with the 6-6 birthday. This David Scott dies 66 days before his birthday, which is the same as 9 weeks, 3 days. And the astronaut is age 93. Look at how amazing that is. Look at how amazing that is right there. And the astronaut born in 32, and David equals 32. Look at that. And David equals 32. American retired test pilot and NASA astronaut who was the 7th person to walk on the moon. This guy. That's wild. Check that out right there. Interesting stuff, man. Oh, and what else do I have here? Look at this. This guy's name is David, who also died. I was going to work on this one, but I'm not sure. Dave Mason, co-founder of Traffic, known for We Just Disagree and Feeling All Right, dies at 79. Okay? So look what happens when I look that guy up. Dave Mason. You get the name Mason. Look at right here. This guy died April 19th. Look, his name is David. And now we get another David that dies. You see that? And again, the same name. This is how they balance. This is how they balance stuff out. And again, the same name as this guy. Wild. This astronaut right here. Okay, so I think that's enough for look at this. Selected as part of the third group of astronauts in 1963, Scott flew to space 3 times. Third group, and he went to space 3 times and commanded Apollo 15. 1963, 1963, and David Scott equals 1963. Check that out. You also get that 36, which is 63 reversed. So Georgia's 13th congressional district, David Scott dies seeking his 13th term in Congress 66 days before his birthday. And again, that syncs up with the astronaut whose birthday is 6/6 right there. And again, 66 days, the same as 9 weeks, 3 days. The astronaut is age 93. So you see how these numbers work. You see how these numbers work there, okay? Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Dies at age 80. Solid. Okay, so I guess it's natural causes. Just taking one last look here. That's some solid information for not knowing much about this character. So don't forget, as a decoder, as anybody out there, you don't have to go deep down the rabbit hole. It starts with the language. And I'm almost positive there was a trending story with another Scott recently. Here's a Senator, Tim Scott, right here, which is interesting. But I thought there was another Scott character trending lately with the last name Scott. I can't remember. I may have brought one up recently. I don't know, like a coach or something. So Republican or a representative, I guess. Representative David Scott, Georgia Democrat, seeking his 13th term in Congress, dies at age 80. There may be some stuff I left on the table possibly there. I didn't see an 80 within the numbers there. But man, that David Scott connection was fire with the astronaut. And there's probably some space stuff going on right now that's trending. Oh, there goes my alarm. So, with that being said, look at that right there. Look at that right there. NASA. So, look, there is some space stuff going on trending also. Okay, so, oh, did I not show you? Yeah, right there. There's some space stuff. Probably always trending, but until next time, OTF on the fly.